Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's start with how did you get into the bully game, and how long have you been breeding at this point?
So man, I grew up in a household where we had a lot of dogs, man. So my stepdad bred pit bull terriers. So we grew up with 20 dogs in the backyard, and me and my brother was mainly responsible for taking care of them. So I always had a love for the bully breeds, and I think when I was in college, bro, I started really paying attention to the new breed that they was calling XXL pit bulls at the time, and that was breeders like RBG, ICK, OCK, uh, and I followed King Lion real hard. He was like my favorite dog at the time, and I always wanted one of those dogs. So when I came up on a little bit of money about 10 years ago, I bought my first XXL pit bull, and there was an ace son named Ramses. And I, I actually never got to use the fucking dog. But then I bought my foundation female from Gorilla Boy Kennels named Daisy. She's 10 years old now. Uh, and so she's like the great great grandmother to all of the dogs you see on my yard right now. So yeah, that's basically how we got started, man.
So I haven't met one breeder who in the beginning didn't make like a lot of mistakes or just got
Oh my
fucked
fucking
over
god, bro,
or spent like 20, 50K just on some shit. And like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Fuck it. I'm gonna
bro.
just take that loss.
So crazy, right? You say that, right? I say this. I wish new breeders would fucking just take and call somebody who been around and listen.
Mhm.
Cause bro, the I spent a lot of money on dogs in the beginning that I never even used, bro. Like females that I never bred before. Like I said, my first male I ever bought, I bought an Ace son 10 years ago when Ace was the hottest thing in the fucking world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, he was actually Ace's biggest son ever produced, and I never got to breed to him.
Damn. Well, the thing about being a beginner is that even though you're aware you're a beginner, you don't realize how much you don't know. You usually think
Right.
you know more, you usually think you know more than you know. So you be like, okay, I hear these people, but like I think I could do it this way. I think I'm gonna do it this way. And then you end up spending a lot of money. And it's funny because a lot of people, obviously, there's a lot of money to be made in
Hmm.
breeding, but man, you gonna spend way more than you gonna make in the first shit. I mean, I'm only like technically, let's say I'm 2 years in, and I've this is my fifth dog. I only have one dog right now. I started from scratch with a foundation female. But I mean, if I do the math, man, I mean, I haven't made shit at this point. I mean, besides whatever rehoming fee I've made getting rid of the dogs, but that don't really count. Let's say I've spent at least, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe over 20K, and I haven't made nothing. I mean, shit. If I'm not even counting the food, I'm just counting the payment for the dogs. If I count the food, shit, and the time, because time is money, right? If you're
Man,
doing this,
yeah,
you
for
can.
sure.
I mean, I don't even want to do that math, but that's a lot of money in a couple of years that you spent. Now, can you make that back in one or two litters? Yeah, but I mean, you got to sell it too. You got so it's like I don't think anybody gets into this game initially for money. Well, I'm sure some people do, but I don't think the best breeders it has to start with a passion because there's a lot of other ways to make money a lot faster. Like, let's be real, right? So it's like I feel like I say the same thing in like the bodybuilder space. It's like when people are like, yo, you can make money. I'm like, yeah, you can make money. I mean, you can make money doing anything, but like, are you want to work out for the next 10 years to make money, or you? I mean, unless you enjoy it or love it in some kind of way, you might as well find something that you like to make money off of it. You know, if you don't like dogs, having 20 dogs at your place is not probably the smart thing to do. You
Man,
know, so
what,
not
bro?
gonna be.
If you don't, if you, I promise you, and I think a lot of breeders got into this game during the pandemic when money was plentiful because
Mhm.
people was getting PPP loans and SBA loans and all that stuff. So they, with Trump flooding the economy, um, flushing money back into the economy by doing those things, we saw an abundance of cash being spent around, and people made a lot of money, and they assumed that the bully game was going to be like that forever, and it's not. Right, so now you look up and see people with 5 or 6 dogs, and they don't really even like dogs.
This is facts. Yes, this is fact. Yeah, I felt like especially during the pandemic, it was so easy to sell just pet home. Like, I mean, it could be a high quality dog, but people were buying it for pets, right? Whereas
Hmm.
I feel like generally the most consistent breeders, they gonna be selling to a lot of other breeders and people who show dogs, right? Like for the most part, like you're gonna get pet homes too, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still new to this. But from what I see, like a lot of the consistent or like top breeders, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people, a lot of the money is coming from other breeders buying their dogs as well, right? For the most part, right?
I can agree with that
Okay,
for
yeah,
the
it is.
for the most part, uh,
Mhm.
because that's the aiming point, right?
Exactly,
Me
exactly.
personally, I prefer to sell to pet homes. I don't like selling puppies to breeders.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like that could get mixy. That could get mixy as well. You know what I'm saying? That could get mixy as well. Um, there are some camps that do crazy with the pet homes. Usually, like some of the camps where like they have a lot of like colorful, like colorful, like just nice looking dogs. Not necessarily,
Hmm.
not necessarily like breed type, right? Let's say, uh. I'm gonna say the name because this is not like a shot. This is actually respect up. I would say, right. So let's say like phantom bullies, right? It's not like they have like these super bully competition dogs, but they're nice looking dogs. Like they look nice, like they like pretty looking dogs with nice colors, and that goes crazy as far as like pets, right? You know, maybe other breeders don't buy their dogs as much. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm still, but I feel like that goes crazy with the pet homes because people see it stands out. They see like tall, athletic looking dogs with all these colors and nice looking,
Yep.
and they'll go crazy off there. So that is a niche too, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not everybody's into that, right? I would say a lot of us aren't into color ourselves, but we do understand that to some extent, color does sell, even if we don't give a fuck about color, right?
No, for sure.
So I
Yeah,
would say
color
that.
gonna sell every time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think uh a lot of what has held the XL back as a class in the American bully is color chasing. I think people breeding for color rather than for confirmation has set the XL back 5 to 10 years.
it's fact. It's fact. You see, but I think what makes that tough is that I think ideally everyone would want to chase their vision 100%. Just this is my vision. That's all I care about. But then in chasing your vision, you have to, like I said, even if you don't care about money, you have to make the money in order to continue to carry our vision. So let's say like you're like, yo, this is what I want. I want this stud and I want this. But then you look and you're like, damn, but am I gonna be able to really sell these puppies relatively quickly, right? Maybe his pet isn't like popular. Maybe his color isn't popular. And like shit, obviously if you build your like you have a brand, you built your brand already. So I don't think
Mhm.
you at this point you got to worry about that. But let's say me, let's say somebody who is new to the game, and I am friends with a lot of breeders, but I mean, it's like no people aren't gonna only just trust me to just buy my dogs. I haven't done shit, right? So if for me that's something I do have to think about. Even though I prefer this, I prefer this. I'm like, wait, but I would want I would want a stud that does have some buzz and has to fit what I like, but also has to fit what customers like, right? So there's like a balance I have to try to, So let's say if you were me, right, and you want to choose a stud, there's a stud that has exactly what you want, but maybe he's what's the color that? Let's say he's a black fawn, and then there's the other stud, maybe like 70% of what I want, but he's popping, and he's a chocolate, either chocolate try or a lilac try, right? Like for your first couple of breedings, which one would you personally lean to if you were like in my position?
Bro, I would go to the dog that best conforms to the breed. Cause you
Okay,
know what's the
okay,
easiest thing in the world to add is color.
that's true. This is true. Yeah, yeah, this is true.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah. You throw, let's say you get that. Let's say you get that black fawn stud. You take it to lilac tri girl. Now you got some lilac fawns, and once you got that dilute fawn, you ready to start adding. You ready to start adding some color,
yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Cause it's all it takes is one breeding.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will always say go to the best dog for your program.
This is facts. Yeah, this is facts. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the other ones, there's already so many breeders that have the color and have the peds that what's gonna make them choose me instead of them, right? They'll probably go to them, you know. But
Yeah, but I mean, so my thing is you got to be patient with the shit too, cause I mean, eventually you gonna stick out like a sore thumb if you doing the right things.
it's facts. It's facts.
So what?
I think facts. Yeah, that's
Okay,
facts.
but I'm finna come
Yeah.
back up. Say it like two.
Yeah. What what I have noticed is that this happens in every industry because it can get competitive, obviously, right? Because I think people feel like everybody's going to be battling for the same customer base, which is not actually true, maybe to some extent. But I think when people maybe disagree with a style of dog, they start to almost get upset, right? It's like it can go for anything. Like when the Brazilian dogs originally were like were 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 classified as bullies, right? And some people were really pissed about that. Like, yo, this is crazy. This is not right, And when the truth is that like you don't have to use it, right? You don't have to use that
Man,
dog.
you don't have to use it.
You could just not use it because we can say that about anything. I could say like, hey, I don't like dogs with long backs. Like that you don't necessarily have to like talk shit about other people with maybe more athletic, longer back
Mhm.
dogs. You just don't got to use it. And that's the beauty of
Yeah,
it. You could just use you could just use but I feel like it upsets people because they feel like it dilutes the whole thing. But it doesn't
yeah.
actually. It only dilutes whoever chooses to use that. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, the when I first got into this game, I was so gung ho about only like talking shit. I wouldn't say it was talking shit, but
Mm,
I was I was stuck on what I liked,
mm.
and if it wasn't what I liked, it was trash, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I learned how to just let everybody do their own thing, and everybody ain't gonna like the dogs I like, and to just breed what I like and show up and shows with what I consider the best version of the dogs. Shit got so much easier, man.
It's fact. Like there's also different ways of talking shit. I think being competitive is perfectly fine. I think you can be competitive in a way that makes everybody better as well. And I I think it's best if we're competitive in a way that we can still have a discussion. Let's say you get on a podcast and you just have different points of view, but you could express why you don't like one thing or why you do. Maybe you could say, "Nah, I like the Brazilian dogs because I feel like if I mixed them with the Americans, I could do this and do that. And from my
Mm-hmm.
experience, the temperament is good, whatever. So you don't have to worry about this influence from F1s or whatever." And if somebody can articulate, yeah, but I like keeping it pure to this and that, and y'all could agree to disagree, but not really like dislike each other's program, right? And
Right.
because that's the beauty of it, because we don't want all our dogs to look exactly the same. Technically, like I that kind of loses the
Yeah,
fun
but
of
they
it.
almost should though. If you well, from
I
a
know what you mean.
confirmation standpoint.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Like maybe like color and maybe muzzle, certain little things could look a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But like I know what you mean. Like you're saying, like if you take like a pure breed of dog, how different do Dobermans look from each other? Like right, they're not very
If
different.
you go
You
to
know,
an AKC show, man, them dogs all look the same, bro.
this is true. Yeah, this is. I mean, I guess you see it with for the most part. If you look at the pockets, they look pretty similar to each other for the most part. You know,
Hell
they do
yeah,
look
they
pretty.
do. They damn near look identical.
Yeah, yeah. So there is a sweet spot. Yeah, you probably you probably shouldn't have like such a big discrepancy that it looked like a different breed, which sometimes it does. You know, but you want it close enough. But you know, you can still go to your preferred. Some people like 170-pound dogs. Some people like really heavy dogs. Some people like them maybe 120. Right? That's a little different because you know you can still have the same conformation and have like more, you know, boned up dogs or less boned up dogs, whatever the case is. You know, yes.
Right.
Speaking of that, what's the traits? Like obviously, like you know, you want your dogs to be breed type, but I guess the level of importance is going to differ for everybody. For you in particular, you look at a dog. What makes you say, "Yo, this right here, this is a badass dog"? From head all the way down to their feet, their rear, everything. Like what would be the list? Like let's say top three. What's the first thing you look at down to the third, fourth thing you look at?
Man, the first thing I look at is the bone.
Okay, okay,
I'm a
yeah,
sucker for substance.
okay,
So I
okay.
say substance first. As far as bone, I
And
look for
when you say bone, you mean throughout the whole body, like everything from here all the way to the rib cage,
yeah,
or just
mostly the
specific?
forearms, the front legs.
Okay, okay.
Like uh, the second thing I look at is the spread. I'm a sucker for that spread. I gotta have the spread.
Like a nice
And
spread. Yeah.
head, the big head.
Okay, okay. Now when it comes to spread, there's like levels to spread, right? There's like a widespread that's like still like show quality spread, and there's like an extreme spread that maybe won't do as good in the ring, but it just looks like extreme. Like how far are you willing to go with the spread? Like if from your
I like to flirt that line real close. I
that'd be a lot of
like to
fun.
flirt with that line. Anybody will
100%.
tell you when I get in that ring, my dogs walk a tightrope on that motherfucker.
I like that. Yeah, like, but basically, the way I see it is like you should want your dog as extreme as possible while still fitting the criteria. So basically, as wide as that spread could go without him being bow-legged, right? Like you don't want his knees, I mean, his leg all the way out here, like his right. As long as his shit is like here, shit, he could be as wide as he could, as wide as his body can handle without losing his shit. You know,
Bro,
without
when you
losing.
see monster, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say walk a
Hmm.
fucking tightrope on that shit. Monster,
Exactly.
monster is. I mean, you talk to judges, he probably one of the most impressive excels when it comes to confirmation.
Yeah, yeah.
There it is, bro. That motherfucker is freaky as hell with that front end. Like
That's the. Mhm.
he walking a
Uh-huh.
tightrope with that bitch. Like
Uh-huh.
some people
Let
will
me.
say he too freaky. Some people will say it's just right. So,
Shit, I feel like with these dogs, they gotta be freaky, man. Like that's the whole point of these dogs. I feel like you want these dogs to be freaky, in my opinion, because like I don't. If a dog is like too correct, it's kind of like it kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's nice. Like sometimes you could admit that that's nice to look at from confirmation, but it's like it's not enough substance, right? Sometimes, so um, yeah, too. I think you can be too correct, even if you win competitions. I still think you could be too correct to the point that it loses the wow factor, and then
yeah,
I feel like the breed is built on wow factor for sure. You know,
it has to be. Yeah, I agree with you on that. The breed the breed should be predicated to freakiness. Not
exactly.
necessarily. I would say, let me take that back. Not freakiness, wild factor. You had it right the first time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. To me, I think once the it starts bowing out too much and they can't walk properly, then yeah, you
See, I
might have
think
messed up.
this the difference with spread though. People
Hmm.
get this shit confused.
Hmm.
A dog shouldn't have spread from his elbows.
No, no,
A dog should
which
have spread from his shoulders.
100%,
And that's why
100%.
you see dogs like Easy E, for example. Like he's too bold. You
Yes,
know what I'm
yes,
saying? Like it's not natural.
yeah. For that's too much for me personally. I mean, some people love that. Some people love that, but that's like that's technically not the actual spread. That's coming from the, like you said, coming from the leg. That's a bit much, you know. Obviously, like he breeds for that intentionally. Like like he likes that look. Like he wants that shit, right? So that's his own look. But like, yeah, from my taste, that's
I'll,
yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much.
I'll
You
say
know.
this though,
Hmm.
and this is not a knock. I think
Hmm.
sometimes people be too bullheaded to admit they wrong and start over.
This is true. This is true. Do you think a dog can be incorrect, right? But can still be a valuable tool to somebody's camp. Let's say
I,
if I have,
I think it can, but not when it's throwing flaws like that.
yeah, for sure, yeah. If that dog is, yeah, if that dog is throwing the same flaws, then no. But let's say if you have really correct, your camp is all show dog, super correct, not really boned up, no spreads, or I mean, not much spread, and you add a dog that has a really good spread, maybe a little bit too much. Sometimes it could work, but sometimes you could just fuck up your correct dogs as well.
No, for sure. No,
But
I'm one
what?
of them people. I always think you should be breeding closer, especially with eggshells.
Mm,
You should be breeding closer to the source of the freaks. And when I
mm,
say that, I mean like say for instance, people add Axel to their program,
mm,
but because he produced good bulls, right?
mm,
Anytime I think right now, especially with the XLs, it's kind of better to breed toward the crosses, like breed
mm.
closer to them, uh, because it keeps your stock bullied.
So you mean breed to like an Axel? If let's say if you want Axel traits, breed to a son or daughter to Axel. Is that what you mean?
I would breed to an actual son, and then I'll
Mm,
take some shit off that and breed that motherfucker to an actual grandson, and I'll
mm.
keep on breeding like that until I got all the traits I want locked in.
I've heard people say that like you're better off. go into the offspring because they should be getting better, right? They shouldn't be getting worse, right? So if they're getting better, it would make sense you go to the son rather than keep going back so far. Yeah, that does make sense. Oh, also when it comes to when it comes to like pets in general, how important are is the genotype to you versus phenotype? I guess I guess meaning like you know the lines you like or whatever, but if let's say a dog is from a line, let's say you big on Axel, you love Axel. Oh shit, you love Axel. Um, but then you see you see dogs where maybe the pets it's not really any big names, but the phenotype is like your dream phenotype versus something that is kind of tried and proven, and then these dogs just have your dream phenotype. But it's not just that one dog. Let's say you look at this dog, perfect phenotype. You look at his pedigree, but you don't know none of these dogs. But you look at those dogs and they fit your phenotype as well. Would you take that chance with that dog that fits the phenotype, or would you go to something that's already kind of like been proven?
Oh man, I look at the two dogs in front of me first and foremost. That genotype shit don't mean nothing to me if the two dogs in front of me trash.
Mhm.
It's
Shit,
very weird. The only time I'll breed based on Geno is on my yard.
okay, yeah.
Like I would
That makes
never
sense.
compromise. Like I'm never finna go breed to a stud based on what his pedigree look like.
Yeah, that makes
If
sense.
that makes sense.
I mean, shit. If both the parents are nice, I mean, the dog is gonna look like dad, mom, or both. I mean,
Nah,
they could pull from the grand. Like now, if I look at that dog, and even though he's the dream phenotype, but his parents, which is gonna be the grandparents to the puppies, they look a little sus. That would make me nervous. But if the stud fits the perfect phenotype and his parents fit as well, even if they're not like names. So if basically grandparents and parents fit the phenotype, I would
yeah, but
I would
a
take that
lot of
chance.
dogs don't throw their parents; they throw their litter mates. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
okay. So
That's friends
you
from a
saying
lot
like
too.
you get let's say you get like an Axel's sister and she doesn't look that great.
Axel kids, and Axel and his kids threw his litter mates a lot,
Mm, okay, yeah.
and they
Cause
wasn't pretty.
yeah, from what I heard, some of the litter mates was
Trash.
wasn't the best. Yeah, so that can't happen. Yeah. So I think you already said it. So what's some of the marquee dogs you like to look for in the pedigree? You said lion. I forgot who else you said. Like some of your favorite original dog OG dogs.
Man, I'm so deep in my bag right now as far as my pedigree
That's true.
that
Yeah,
I'm actually just looking to add to my shit, bro. So
that's smart. That's
uh
smart.
I'm only looking at my dogs right now. Uh so we trying to figure out, you know, what Monster do with certain pedigrees, um, and a couple other up and coming studs I got. I'm not necessarily looking. I am incorporating other dogs. Like I incorporated shotgun recently this year.
Okay, fire.
Um,
I like shotgun.
yeah, I
Okay.
incorporated shotgun. I don't think it really like I got some nice stuff off of it,
Mhm.
but it didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to. But that's the nature of the game. Right now, I'm looking to incorporate some of the Axel stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I got a couple breeders with that stuff coming up. But
Yeah.
we'll see, man. We'll see how it work out.
I like Axel, man. Personally, I like Axel. Like it's not always gonna be like no dog is gonna just just throw all fucking perfect dogs. You're gonna get some bad ones here and there, but generally, I do like what you get from like Axel line breeders and shit like that. Generally. So okay, question. What Excel, let's say the last 20 years, what Excel you felt like had the biggest positive impact and which one you feel had the biggest negative impact in the as a whole in Excel in particular, bully game.
The
Or
biggest positive,
mhm.
the biggest positive impact, I would say, would probably be
You said who?
Juggernaut,
Okay, okay,
and the biggest negative impact, I would say, would be Wonka.
okay. Okay. You put the gun out.
And the reason I say that is a lot of people chase color when they went for Wonka, and his phenotype was terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't very he wasn't very bully. He was kind of on the slender side from what I see.
Yeah,
You
and it
said
didn't stop people from using them though.
you talking about ULP Juggernaut?
Yep. I
I
think
wasn't super familiar.
that Jug saved the community. The GK stuff kind of saving the community. Like,
Yeah, Jugger look good. I like that. I like Jugger. In case anybody who not familiar with Jugger, let me put him up. Unstoppable Jugger. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
he's the most used Genghis Khan stud right now.
That's fire. Yeah. I like him. I like him. And then you said for the negatively Awanka. I can
Hmm.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah, because
All right.
Walker was the
Mhm.
first major chocolate trough stud available,
Yeah, I
and
see that.
he was a horrible example of the breed, but people still used him anyway because of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
color. I think that dog personally set bullies back 5 years since sales back.
I see what you're saying because he was overused just for color. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then good good ball moved it in a much better direction than Wonka in comparison.
I don't think people would have used Good Bar as much if he was at any other camp with Bossy.
This is true. This is very true. Yeah.
But
All
he
right.
was a better dog than Wonka for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Where would you like to see your camp going in the next 5, 10 years? Are you like a big show guy, or do you want to have like a lot of like offspring that are like champions, grand champions,
Yeah,
or is
I'm a show guy, bro. I feel like the only way to really prove your stock is in the ring. Now, unfortunately, I personally don't like the way the ABKC shows and judges dogs. I think a lot of shit. Uh, I think a lot of bullshit go on with the ABKC as far as how they award let judges judge shows. But at the end of the day, that's out of my control. So I'm still gonna show up and compete, and we still
that's all you can
want
do?
to go ahead.
Yeah, that's all you can do. All you can do is you control you and your dog like that.
Mhm, for
How is
sure.
Josh? It kind of yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like,
That's like mhm. That's like in the body because like shows it's like bodybuilding for dogs basically and in
sure.
bodybuilding we put our best look up there. We can't control where the fuck they put us. We kind of just bring the best we could. They might see it. We don't like that style. We'll go a different style. There's not much you could do about that. But if you keep coming back, you know, more than likely, eventually you should be, you know, it should just do it at some point. Hopefully. I want to talk a little bit about puppies, right? So when it
Okay.
comes to picking your keeper, let's say, when do you usually do that? And do you keep them a little longer, a little shorter, or you have like a pretty good way of kind of selecting it pretty early on?
Uh,
I mean, it's never going to be perfect, right? Sometimes, I mean, you might pick one and then the other pick gets better, but like just generally.
I'll give an example, man. So my last litter, uh, I knew who the pick was from day one. Shit. There was no question who she was.
Yeah. Some people say that. I've heard people say that, and even just watching certain breedings and seeing the puppies, sometimes one or two stick out like a sore thumb right away. Like, holy shit, look at this,
Mhm.
look at the headpiece, look at this one, look crazy. And
Yeah.
also I don't I think we're way past the point that people are going by weight. Like, oh, this puppy weighed 10 pounds. Okay. I think people are going by what it looks like, right? Like you usually a lot of people like look at the head, the spread. Yes, it can change, but I mean, if a puppy got the way biggest head and craziest spread, I mean, chances is they gonna have that. Where there was a time where I feel like people were looking at the weight, like who's the biggest dog, who's the smallest dog. This one weighs the most. I'm gonna pick this one, and that's like I think that's really a great way.
Mhm.
Let's see, got some question. Where the dog? Oh yeah, but I wanted to talk about also like weaning off the puppies from mom. Um, when from what I've heard, everybody's a little different with that. When do you usually wean off the puppies off of the milk, and what do you usually use to wean them off? Do you use like kibble, milk, use some raw? How do you usually go about that?
Um, Excuse me. I uh I start feeding my puppies as early as I can, right?
Like with the mush?
Well, yeah, with mush, I start off with goat milk, but as far as weaning them off mom, shit, I'm gonna keep them on her ass as long as she'll feed them.
Okay, but you'll try to feed them on top of that. So like as they'll have their milk, but then you'll see if they'll eat the mush as well.
I'll feed them the mush first, and then I'll let mom top them off.
Okay. So that could go as long as what, like 4 or 5 weeks on mine?
Man, this last litter, they was on her ass at like 8, 9 weeks. Long as she'll feed them, I'm gonna let her feed them. Even if I gotta trick her into getting in the box.
You know, that's funny. And your mush is usually milk, kibble, anything else in there? Pumpkin or something?
Uh, it depends.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
something like that. Pumpkin, yogurt,
Oh, yeah, so we would put the yogurt in there.
yeah,
I've seen
collard
people put
cheese.
I've seen people put syrup. I've seen
Yeah,
all type of shit in there. I've
yeah,
seen
we
all
put a
type of
little
shit in there.
Cairo syrup in there.
Okay. Some
Uh,
people put egg yolk. I've seen egg yolk in there.
yeah, we put a little
Um,
egg yolk in there.
I've seen all type of shit. But uh, how about as they get older? Are you somebody who goes more kibble, raw, or like a mix of. I'm pretty sure I've seen. I think I've seen. I think I've seen a mix. I think, but I'm gonna let you answer. Like, are you somebody who goes more kibble, more raw, kind of a mix of both, or what do you think about as far as figure?
Yeah, we
You said
kind
what?
of mix it up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've noticed that some of the dogs love the kibble and digest it perfectly. Some of them do until like I don't know, 4 or 5 months, sometimes 6 months. All of a sudden, they start getting like a little diarrhea from the kibble, and then I start adding in drumsticks, and I start mixing it up. And it seems like I always find something slightly different for each dog. I had a dog that he didn't even want to eat the raw. Like, what the fuck? And he just liked the kibble, but he digested it perfectly fine. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, you're gonna be on the kibble. And then I had one named Juice. He wouldn't even eat the kibble, and it wasn't like because I introduced him to the food. He just slowly just would eat less and less, and I'm like, yo, he losing weight. And then when I started mixing, the more raw I would eat, he would try to eat around it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just give him raw and then sneak in a little bit of kibble, just because sometimes I feel like they don't gain as much weight with all raw, you know. But
No, they don't.
yeah, that's the biggest thing I've noticed.
That raw, all raw, keep them lean.
Too lean for my liking, person. I mean, some
Way
people like that
too
probably. Yeah, I personally, and then people say just give them more, and I've got given more. I mean, their stomach expands when they eat it, like big out, but then it'll come back down, and they won't really put on that density that I like at least. I like having them heavy. Like I'm not here to be going hiking. I'm not taking them hiking, and we're not running miles. I like my dogs pretty stocky personally. You know,
lean. Yeah, I like the bulky defensive line looking shit. Like,
me too. Yeah, these are not. I don't look at it as they supposed to have this like tiny pit bull waist and jumping
mhm.
jumping fences and shit. These is like I look at them like little bodybuilders, really, for the
Yep,
most
for
part.
sure. That's what you should look at them as.
I want to talk a little bit about just like I guess you would call it kennel management, but like how many what's your sweet spot for like how many dogs you like to keep or just generally like I guess you could base it on what do you think is a good amount of stock to have from that stay with you, not like co-owns or anything like that, but just in your own camp. How much? Okay, let's say space wasn't an issue. Let's say you had just acres on top of acres. You could keep as many as you want. What would be like a sweet spot for you?
Man, I still don't think it don't take that many dogs to run a successful program.
Hmm.
So I would say the most dogs I would ever want to have. I don't want to have no more than 20 dogs.
No more than 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've seen people run successful camps with 10 at a but I mean they'll have like co-owns and teammates or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, there's people that run it with 10, you know. It is
Mhm.
possible. It is possible. And there's people who got 50. There's people who got 50.
Man, I done
That
seen breeders with 100.
you know. I don't know how that's even possible. I gotta be. I don't even know how that's possible. But they'll have it. Well, one of the first breeders I talked to, yeah, he told me, yeah, I haven't counted it officially, but I got close to 100, and I'm like, what the fuck? But then when I look at the page, I'm like, yeah, they there. They a lot of dogs. I can't even keep up. If like it's always a different dog, I'm like, God damn. I couldn't even keep the I didn't even know their names at that point. I can't even name all the dogs as well. But hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do. You know, what's the biggest challenge? I guess this goes in line with the same kennel question. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge when it comes to running a successful kennel?
Oh, I mean, I think honestly, man, it's mainly just the daily chores, bro.
Clean as shit. Yeah, that shit clean enough fun for sure.
Yeah,
That's probably the
cleaning
hardest
up
part.
after them, feeding them every day.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let's do maybe one more question or two more, and then let me see. I'm gonna try to get some good ones. I guess this is social media. Do you feel like social media marketing has affected the breed in any negative or positive ways? I guess both, probably both.
Uh,
I would say probably more positive. I mean, 'cause you could probably reach a lot more people, right? Like I'm trying to think of anything negative. Social media. I mean, I
I
think so.
think,
When it comes to business, social media is probably positive.
yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the history of the breed, man, and you know, where it initially came from when it was more like a subculture thing. Excuse me. Social media has definitely made the breed 10 times more popular, you know.
Perfect. Yeah,
Um, but more scrutinized as well, I would say.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. You ever see the XLs that do kind of like the bite work and stuff like that? Like
Yeah, see,
kind
I
of like
don't
how
like
we're
that shit. I don't like it. Cause I think
that's
you start to one, you making it the breed into something it's not. And you know what I'm saying? Like there's dogs for that.
yeah.
And then you also feeding into the negative connotation that we trying to build away from.
I look at it like this: like you have so many breeds to choose from. Why try to make a breed conform to something it's not, rather than
Man,
just
I
you
agree
right?
with that 100%, bro.
You remember when there was like a time period where like people were breeding for size, but not like bully size. Literally like mastiffs with cropped ears. Like I'm talking about 200,
Yeah, the Pro
220.
Bowl stuff.
And it's like, why not just get a Borbell at that point?
Yeah,
Why
why
not
not
just
get
get
a
a
fucking Bull Master for a Cane Corso?
that would be so much easier and better on the dogs themselves and yourself as well, right? So it almost doesn't make sense. Like if that's what you want, that's out there already. If you want a protection dog, shit. I mean, a Doberman is great. They literally created the Doberman to be a protection dog.
Man, what
So it's
German
like
Shepherds,
get your
anything,
Malamar, or you out of there.
Rottweilers.
Shit,
They made
Malamar.
dogs specifically for this. Why are you forcing a bully to do it?
Like these dogs, they want to do that naturally. Like it's like you're not even teaching them to do it. They're already doing it. You just showing them who
Mhm.
to do it for. So it's like it's so much easier. So to try to make a bully do that, I don't. It doesn't really make that much sense. I don't think so.
I
And like
agree.
we don't. And there's no need because at this point, I feel like breeders wanting to breed out that so much drive out of them, if anything. So I don't think you need to put that back in there, really. You
No,
know.
I agree 100% with that.
All right. Last question. Hmm, Go on. You already did you mention the biggest mistake you've made?
Uh,
I think we talked about spending money, but
yeah, I think we touched on it, but again, I'll expound on it, man. It was
hmm,
the main thing that I think I made a mistake on was just jumping head first into it without doing the research, and that was based on, man, I was so hungry to get going and to prove myself that I didn't take a step back and look at, all right, this is what I really want out of this. This is the look I really want out of this. This how I'm achieve that look. And what you end up doing is, like you said, wasting a lot of money.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. Yeah, that's the when you're so excited to start something, that's when you're most susceptible to making mistakes and even being how you say it. I mean, even being, I guess, conned
Taking
or taking
advantage
advantage
of, yeah, for sure.
because you're so quick, you didn't really take the chance to really understand what's going
Hmm.
on, or you didn't even know the players. So somebody could be like the biggest con in the industry, but you don't know because you never even right. You didn't do the homework and get to know the players and everything. So you didn't know what everything being said about this person, business or anything like that. Right now, not that all rumors are true, but I mean, if everybody's saying the same thing, well, maybe you should be, cautious, so that, yeah, that'll definitely happen to people. I don't even know if there's any way around it. Some people just naturally do more research, but then some people are doers. Some people just got to jump into it, and then you gonna learn. You're gonna learn eventually.
Well,
You
for
know?
sure. For
I
sure. You
appreciate you
said
for
mouth,
hopping on,
man.
brother. I
Man,
appreciate you hopping on,
anytime,
man.
bro. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. I definitely, I do want to go to the national. So, I haven't really seen most of these excels. I mean, I haven't seen most of them besides some of the local ones, but I definitely want to go out more and really see what's going on as far as because they always look not always, but usually they look better in person. They usually look more. I don't want to say always just because he's never dope, but from my experience, a lot of times, shit, pictures and videos don't even do some of these dogs justice because you don't realize how impressive some of these dogs are, until you really see them sometimes. So I definitely got to come up, but appreciate you. If I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I'm gonna definitely try to see what you got going on,
For
brother.
sure, bro. If you
Yes,
can
sir.
make it to that D Town show too, man, it's gonna be that's the
When is that?
XL show to go to. It's in October
October in Detroit.
in Dallas.
Oh, okay, okay. October. That. All right, bet. I bet I'm gonna mark that down on my calendar because that's gonna be fire. I like Texas too. I've been to
Yeah,
Texas
that
a
shit gonna
handful
be
of times.
dope, man. I can't wait to they doing an XL only ABKC show at that show, and that's unheard of. Like
Oh, that's
that's how
fire.
many
Yeah,
XLs come. And it's gonna
that's
be all
fire.
the top XLs in the world. So there'll probably be 8 XL grand champions there. So
I got I gotta come check that out, brother. But yeah, all right, man. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest
all
of
right,
your day,
bro.
my guy.
Yeah, you
Yes,
too.
sir.